A massive thanks goes out to Be Quiet, Corsair, Eco Water Blocks, InWin and Sapphire for sponsoring our coverage at Computex 2019. Right, so I'm sat here with Niko, who's the Director of Engineering at Corsair for the Hydro X parts. And we're going to be taking a look at some of the parts themselves, asking some questions and seeing exactly how these things work and what they're designed to do and all of that. So, Niko, obviously Hydro X is designed for kind of getting new people into the blocks and everything like that, and into water cooling in general. How much of that do you think starts with the configurator and sort of making it so that people know what to choose?
Yeah, the biggest gripe that most users, in my opinion, have with the custom water cooling is the complexity of the whole system, the enormous amount of parts that are available on stores. So, I mean, just looking at the graphics card, we at least have 7 or 8 different PCB models that are really popular among the gamers and enthusiasts. So the real issue is how to get the correct component for your computer. So in that way, I think the custom cooling configurator, like for the complete system, is a must tool that every new user will be able to,
sort of get into it and find out exactly what they need.
It's not just the water blocks or the radiators, the compatibility. Because that could be I don't know, it's not so easy. Yeah, the case supports the 240 radiator, for example. Yeah, but does it support the pump as well?
Yeah, and also the different thicknesses of the radiator.
Of course,
kind of tubing around
and then maybe it actually, we know, like for example from the pictures, where to put the pump, but how many 90-degree adapters do you need? How many 45s do you need? Where do you route the tubing? So unless you either design the whole system in CAD, including the tubing and everything, or you assemble it yourself, you'll have a very hard time. So in this regard, we did a lot of work, especially, so we did all the work in the CAD, and also we did a lot of system builds to ensure that it's possible to use custom water cooling from Corsair inside Corsair machines, Corsair cases, and we can guarantee the compatibility.
Now, in terms of obviously the product range, you've gone to great lengths to make sure that you've picked out a bunch of different OEMs who are going to be supporting you with the radiators, fittings, and other kind of accessories like that, which are necessary for the loop. But also you developed a lot of parts in-house. Now, one of the things that I've found interesting, because I've had a bit of time to play around with these in person now, and so I've taken them apart and fully kind of looked around at how they're constructed and everything.
Yep.
So, for instance, I'm a big fan of the GPU blocks. So they're really, really solid, sort of proper machined copper base plates, and got aluminium covers and all of that sort of thing. Very impressed by the acrylic machining as well.
Oh yeah, it was quite expensive. We had other techniques at work, but we eventually, because of the yield issue, we resorted to CNC machining again.
Yeah, because I noticed that there's one of the big differences, certainly between the GPU blocks and the two parts here we have here, so the CPU block and the pump res, is that these are massively injection molded.
Yes.
And I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, because I find the one issue that I've got with one of the issues I've got with the injection molding is that you sort of lose that premium feel, that sort of, but how are you going to, like, because obviously they're competitively priced, but they're still expensive. And how are you going to sort of temper the expectations and feeling with that? Because if you've got one of the, like this one's a fully injection molded piece, so we've got like top, bottom thing. We've obviously got the lighting, which adds a huge amount to it. But then how are you going to be able to sell that versus, say, a solid borosilicate glass reservoir that's machined out of solid acetate?
Yeah, it's a fair question, but let's just start with a quick answer about the material. The material used here is about twice as expensive as borosilicate glass. So this material costs, I think, I'll just say it on top of my head, about 2.5 times as much as copper. So it's really expensive, and to injection mold it, you need very high pressure injection mold machines. You need the tool cavities, they need to be made from extremely expensive the steel. So at the end of the day, making a product which might, like you said, the first impression might be it's injection molds. That means it's cheap. No, that means it's engineered properly. This one was the easiest to make, because CNC machining is one of the simplest form of engineering. You take a block of material and you CNC machine it down. But those two guys, they took an incredible amount of time to design and develop to get good yields out. So
is that one of the big reasons why we've waited so many years then for Hydro X?
We've so many years. Okay, you waited quite some time, but not so many years. That's one of the reasons. Also, but we did not had so many issues with these compared to what we had. I mean, there were issues all around, because getting the good material, even flying in engineers from Evonik or the other factories that do raw materials, it was taking a lot of time to pinpoint the issues.
And what about compatibility with parts that are maybe outside of the Corsair ecosystem? Because I noticed you've got incredibly dense fin stacks here. Do you think these blocks are going to be okay for use with pastel coolants?
You think this is incredibly dense?
Well, compared with a lot of the ones on the market, so you might have, say, 0.3 millimeter.
This is 0.25. This is the same as if you go and take a caliper and measure. It's the same as EK or a heat killer.
Yeah, but then the other one's even more dense than that, isn't it? The other one's
0.2.
Yeah.
It's 0.2, but it's only it's negligible difference. Yeah. But it is denser.
So do you think that's not going to make a big difference for maybe if you're using a pastel coolant or an opaque or something? Because obviously you're not offering that range, even though
we're not offering.
Those.
Yeah, we are not offering yet, but we will in the near future. The opaque particles are not problem for this. So if it works with a heat killer or EK, it works with ours as well, because the fin stack is 0.2, 0.25, depending on the skiving machine. So this part is skived as well, if you've noticed. So it's inserted skive part. In short, there's no issue with pastel coolant. So our coolant approved vendor list is, I think we have around 15, 20. Something like that.
It's going to be very, very easy to use something that you might want, or like maybe it's quite local or something.
It's quite local. So using these parts in a system together with third-party parts, either water blocks or coolants or radiators, is perfectly fine. So hydraulically wise, these products are the same as our competitors.
Okay. And does the nylon used in this one hold up very well for threading then? As well, because that was one thing. Because when I noticed when I took this one apart, it's got a huge array of sort of like 12 Torx tiny little self-tapping screws. And when I was trying to put it back together, some of them started to catch a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the O-ring underneath sometimes sticks out a little bit because it's flat on the side.
So we machine those guys with they use like a robot and machine those together. But nylon is if you do a simple, let's say, the reliability calculation, so the mean time between failure, this product will fail much more faster than these two.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because the materials used here, they withstand heat and expansion much better than the acrylic. The acrylic is, in all custom water cooling parts, the acrylic is the weak point. So that's why we went away from acrylic as much as possible. So we only use acrylic here, and we also use two different processes after machining the acrylic to age it a little bit and to make it
to remove the stresses and things.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
remove the stresses. Yeah.
So right, well, thank you very much, Niko.
Yeah,
been
thank
really
you,
good
Alex.
getting some of these questions answered, and we'll see you in the next coverage.
Thank you.